What's something that women say to men that they don't realize is insulting? I can't say women in my life have ever really unintentionally insulted me. So the premise of the question is questionable to me. Or at least I don't perceive it as an issue. I have seen the phrase "he's one of the good ones" being used a couple times online in women's spaces to refer to a man. Which is exactly how racists talk about minorities they normally loathe. So that phrase in particular, I would categorize as an insult, though of course it's rarely consciously intended to be. Any type of comment that boils down to the guy being relationship worthy, but not hookup worthy. You are basically saying they lack the looks, charism, sex appeal for you to want to sleep with them. In exchange, other traits or factors make them desirable. Typically things like stability, safety, etc. are things specified and all amount to things the guy gives you in exchange for you being with them, and it doesn't sound great or feel great to hear. One girl I really liked kept saying I was sweet like 3 times on one date. It was a bummer for some reason. Made me feel beneath her. I was older than her with a solid career. She was an employee. It later made sense when she gave me the whole "I'm not ready" aka didn't find me attractive. Even in her apartment, I got a weird distant vibe. So I didn't make any moves at all. It was just obvious she didn't really find me attractive. I'm a woman. But I think the way society degrades men and makes them instantly guilty of anything they're accused of even after being proven innocent is terrifying. I have 2 sons and it's scary how people treat men. I remember before moving into our house, the maintenance person from our apartment used to tell my husband, "Won't be able to get out of child support with those kids, they look just like you." I had a BFF years back who suggested a compact that we'd marry if we hadn't found anyone else in 5 years. Bitch please, you like me as a person but I'm your last resort physically. I told her that with current trends she would be fugly in 5 more years. But I'd still be her friend. We had a very banter type relationship, so that was okay to say. As they are saying that to nice guys most of the time, I only mean men straight then. It's sexist and intended to be insulting as fuck. Imagine men calling women lesbians. It's not the right way. I'm a technician. I work at a very large facility. Generally, we have our own bathrooms. One day our bathroom was closed, so I went next door. There were visiting children, and the facility staff member, not teacher, told me to make good choices. I thought that was a bit much myself. I had to use "good for you," as in, "I got a raise today, good for you." It's always a backhanded combination of, "I resent your success," and I'm thinking compensation just falls from the sky for no reason instead of you are working your ass off and good at what you do. And an argument with a girl about something like economics, ideology, politics, or whatever, and after an hour of back and forth they hit you with the, "Ooh, I would never want to be with a guy like you. LOL. No one asked, girl." I hate it when, apropos of nothing, a woman brings up her boyfriend within minutes of a conversation. Like, "Oh, you breathe oxygen. My boyfriend breathes oxygen." It's very unsubtle. Women, and we see it for exactly what it is. He's just a friend. He's like a brother to me. He's been wanting to have sex with you or date you from the moment he saw you, and you just broke his heart. Never happened to me. But many of my friends have suffered the friend zone. After spending thousands of dollars upgrading audiophile system and the new turntable, I played the first vinyl album, and my wife said, "Wow, it sounds just like the CD." She didn't realize she had given my system the ultimate insult. When I get a lot is "you look like movie star," it's always the same too. I find it very shallow and incredibly unappealing. Now I have no idea if they're genuinely interested in me, or only care to roleplay their own fantasy. Why don't you have a girlfriend yet? In other words, what's wrong with you that's not immediately obvious? Because that's the only explanation for you not being paired up, is that you have some kind of defect. Well, calling themselves strong and independent for doing anything the average man does is pretty cringe. Like having a house, or being able to pay for their own food at 30. Congratulations. All men are the same. They all want the same thing, no. Just the category of men you choose are all the same. Don't compare me to someone who mistreated you and you don't know me. For example, when I do something nice for my girlfriend and her friends or mom say, oh, she's got you trained well. They're just trying to be funny. But that shit makes me so mad. Sorry. I'm not interested in dating relationship meeting someone, but then proceed to date every other guy. Like me, just tell me I'm not your type. Shit hurts way less. You ruined me, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Also, I see why girls like you. That a surprise. Felt like a backhanded compliment, commenting on a father babysitting his own child when playing with them outside. Mama's day off and all that. No, Karen, I'm just being a dad. How come you're so good to me? It's not an insult. But it's a bit of a red flag. Like, don't you think you deserve being treated decently? I used to fuck my ex every night. The one who cheated on you, bankrupted you, and left you. Then why the hell do we have a dead bedroom? How are you still single? It's because people like me enough to be friendly with me, but I'm not attractive enough to be with Susan. I hate men, they're all disgusting. Not you though. Fun fact, being a model minority exception to a rule is not a compliment. Oh, are you babysitting today? No, I am a parent, not a babysitter. Yes, I want to be around my kids. And no, it's not a chore. Not so true anymore. But there was a time not so long ago when being called cute was an affront to one's masculinity. All men are rapists, I get the message, but as a victim of sexual assault myself, I hate when women say that to me. When you express you had deep feelings for a woman to a couple, and a woman says it was just a crush, you're like a brother to me, that's great. But if you weren't interested in me, you could just say that. When they say men are stupid, I can't think of an example, but the insinuation is that we're all dumb apes. Well, you're obedient, my downstairs neighbor, while I was out mowing our lawn. And no, she was not hot. I would totally date you if you were taller, haha, not as much insulting as it's just ridiculous to say. The only reason I'm with you is because your dick is big, how you lay it down the way you eat my. I have red hair and lots of women touch it. They will just come up and caress it. It's very odd. Reverse O card here. But you look good for your age, leave off the for your age part, damn. When they ignore a man has other responsibilities beside them, like his parents or siblings, bragging about how many men she has slept with. Like that's an accomplishment for a woman. How are you still single? And you are going to make a great husband someday. When your coworker complains that there aren't any cute guys that work here. I'm not normally into guys who have whatever you hate about yourself. Oh, Mum's day off. Susan, I'm gay. Mum surrogate hasn't had a day on. You piece of shit. I hope you die ... That is how my wife says good night. I have never met a man who liked being referred to as a short king. That guy at the office is the funniest person I've met. Man up ... I would never say that to any man ever. Saying she likes your pecker because the big ones hurt.